first year as staff, so it's fun. We would like to welcome all of our attendees and our guests to this fourth year with a little something called A Brief History of Anime Milwaukee, the past, present, and future. Completely, historically, inaccurate. Act 1, year 0.5. We didn't actually have a first year. They had to delete a little. All right. Once upon a time, on a college campus not too far away, there was anime, and it was good. The people of the Japanese Animation Association, henceforth called by their acronym JAA, of UWM rejoiced in front of their television screens with mouths full of Pocky. They loved it so much, they wanted to share their love with the world, or at least people in Milwaukee. One day, the president of JAA, Matt Staub, suddenly had an idea.
Let's start our own convention right here at UWM. Let's call it Anime Milwaukee.
And so Anime Milwaukee was born. Surprisingly so. Say bye to Matt. All right. Continuing on. Setting out on the journey of creating an anime convention turned out to be more difficult than previously thought. The weekend was cold and stormy, the blizzard of the century raging outside. The members of the JAA made their way through the treacherous storm, fighting against freezing temperatures to participate in the bloody battles of the lunch money tournament. Indecisiveness. Then again, it ended without any fanfare. Hold on, I gotta hit myself, sorry. Anyway, it ended without any fanfare. Only one reported chokehold and a massive outbreak of cooties. Of JAA was petitioned later as to why he did not postpone the convention, which for some reason only JAA members knew about. They were the only attendees of the convention that year. In their excitement, they had forgotten to invite the rest of the campus or any fellow otaku in the area of southeastern Wisconsin. Whoops. In the end, most of the attendees succumbed to the freezing temperatures, coughing and sneezing on the trek back to the places from whence they had come. Here it comes. All except one, who died of dysentery after boarding a river that was too deep. He probably should have talked his wagon. Act 2, year 1.5. See the theme with this. Yeah. Thousands of miles away, it was time for the official second year of Anime Milwaukee. The JAA fixed their original problem of actually advertising for the convention and had a decent number of attendees from the Milwaukee area. Guests that year included Sonny Strait and Colleen Klinkenbeard, who were so popular that a pair of pyramid heads had to be hired as personal bodyguards for their panels. Personal bodyguard. All right. Luckily enough, there were no serious injuries that the nurses had to be called in as well.
Oh, one day. Well,
Even with the added protection, Sonny still had to go on
Oh, I don't like to watch myself. I don't.
to find an eyeglass repair store. Before he left, he had to equip his new party, a mage, a healer, a magician, and some guy with overalls. They journeyed for many days across many lands until they found the place.
And then he kind of got a reset.
Where he self-told. And so they arrived at Stein Optical. Sonny repaired his glasses, but even so, the princess was still in another castle. However, the biggest event of the weekend was the Super Smash Bros. Brawl Japanese Edition tournament. Alright, there it is. One system to rule them all, 4 controllers to find them, 1 gamer to rule them all, and in the tournament, bind them in the land of video games, where Shadow Heartless lie. The brawling raged on and on all weekend, eventually causing a riot amongst the masses when the winner was announced, with usually the epic one-liner called Falcon Punch. Sorry, I couldn't actually find it, otherwise we would be listening to it. Even afterwards, when the legend of the person who had brought the game began, the person who had brought this wonder to the group of gamers, he could not go anywhere without hundreds of fangirls, and apparently fanboys, flopping him in massive numbers. Several bones were broken. Civilization came to Anime Milwaukee as well this year with the use of the internet and DVDs. However, the website looked as if a 5-year-old had drawn it, and the DVD continued to skip throughout the entire AMV contest, giving the audience motion sickness. It was apparent that although bigger than the previous year, there were still many things to fix and overhaul. As the second year of Anime Milwaukee came to a close, a dark cloud loomed on the horizon. Here's our dark cloud. And not the one in the audience somewhere. Thank you so much. There he is! Okay. A dark cloud loomed over the horizon. Would next year's convention be even bigger than the last? Would the guests be people who the attendees have actually heard of? Or would we be plagued with something far worse, even worse than man-made? Year 2.5. Anime Milwaukee 2.5 turned out to be the biggest convention ever seen in southeastern Wisconsin. With a budget of only $800, we rose from the ashes to gain an attendance of... Just the Scouters say! Nice timing, guys. All right. Oh well, fire help. What can you do? It was over 800 people. Although our con chair, Melissa, or Momo, was stuck at registration for over 6 hours each day, the lines to meet, greet, and obtain autographs with Todd Habercorn and Wendy Powell were so large, they ran out of the lounge and down the hall, upsetting the delicate balance between muggles and otaku. In the gaming world, Rock Band was king. It was so loud. How loud? was so loud that no one could hear an elf's screams as he was dragged unwillingly away from his candy by a light Yagami. Now, if Rock Band was king, Street Fighter 4 was certainly came close to being his father's, brother's, nephew's, cousin's, former roommate from his second college twice removed. Try doing that in a furry outfit. The biggest event of the weekend was probably the cosplay contest, which was a mixture of walk-ons and skits in no particular order. Who could forget those memorable moments? The sing-along to Avenue Q's If You Were Gay. As well as that touching reunion with Axel and Roxas and finding out they were both still alive. And Master Chief, who was again voted and nominated for president. But, oh well, we saw how that worked out. Can't get anime, or video games, sorry. Video games for president, okay. However, that dark cloud that was moving over the horizon landed and exploded into a tsunami of cliched dancing cosplayers with caramel dancing. Yes, the song that was probably our official theme song, since it was heard on the stage, in the halls, in panels, and even at the rave. This twisting of the body from side to side and the putting of rabbit ears over the head is what probably caused the massive blockage of the fire exit during the contest. Everyone was probably brainwashed by the catchy lyrics and repetitive movements. Once again, an amazing weekend drew to a close, sadly. But who was to guess that the following year would bring surprises even more epic than buttered toast?
Buttered toast died.
Act 4, Year 3.5, The Future. We're going to change the pace just a little, and I hope you all can come along on a small ride with me, because we're going to have a little fun now with the video that I made just for the opening ceremonies. If you didn't know what Anime Milwaukee was about this year, you will now.